This is our artist talk, and I'm welcoming a whole bunch of people right now because we will be 6 people within this talk, and Manu is back. I'm so glad. Hey, Manu.
Hello.
This is our first time in English today, right?
Yes.
Do you feel fit?
Yeah, of course. It's only the second day in a row we stream, but we have 4 wonderful people waiting in
You've
line
already
for
been able
us
to talk to them, right?
Yeah, I see them already.
Jealous. Because I was just having a little break for myself. I don't know about you, but hopefully you've had enough water to drink, because I just got new water. And also food is something that you should watch, and I got a banana, which I'm probably not be able to eat right now, but at least it's here, and I'm reminded of how important it is to take care of yourself, and especially if you're watching our stream all day and being active with your thoughts on all those topics that we had today, that we will review later, right?
Yes, and we have 4 people from 2 different games we just saw in the exhibition, so let's bring them into the studio, in our virtual little studio.
Yes, please.
Please.
Hello, you guys.
Hello.
It's very nice to get to meet you. I was just talking to Manu that he's already, he was already welcoming you, and I couldn't yet. So I'm very glad that you're here.
So let's start with introducing you guys.
Yes.
Maybe first Linnea and Kristoffer from Future Games. Let's start with Linnea.
Hi. Me and Kristoffer, we are from the team behind Bahari, the diving game. And I am a 2D artist. And my main focus in the game was the UI and some concepting, and also working close with the programmers for implementing the different UI aspects and such. And I'm a very general 2D artist, and I love to do very different tasks, and I love to bring stories to life. And it's super nice to be here. Thanks a lot.
We're glad that we can have you
Welcome
here.
to Virtual Hamburg.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and my name is Kristoffer. I do such a good intro like Linnea, but I'm a game designer, also worked on Bahari, attending Future Games, and very happy to be here. I mainly do gameplay and mechanics and a lot of problem solving in games, so really fun to be here.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little what Future Games is?
Yeah, Future Games is a higher educational school. Future Games in itself has a couple of programs. It's both for artists, programmers, and game designers. So right now, like Linnea, she's in 2D, and we have also a 3D class.
Nice.
We work very close to the industry.
Yeah, we have the DICE and EA office right next to our building. That's nice.
It's great.
Cool. And we also have Karl and Octavian from New York. Welcome to Hamburg.
Thank you.
Oh, that's very nice, because we've had people from Europe all over, and I know that because last year I was looking at the exhibition and there were a lot of people traveling here too, and we've had people from all over Europe, but from America we don't get that many. So glad you could be here through this overcoming of borders and going online and stuff like that. So you are from Common Opera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, tell us, what is it?
Octavian, why don't you field that one?
We're I guess saying of a bunch of different collaborators from a bunch of different places. We both happen to be based in New York, but there are more of us from elsewhere. We are the team on this particular project, which is, I believe, Brave Mouse Cartographer Trilogy, which is being shown here. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
We both live in New York.
And Karl, what is your job on the cartographer?
I wrote the music for it.
Ooh.
And I don't know, maybe contributed some lore. I don't know.
And like the main important thing why we do this is we want to show the people like behind the games, but we also want to see a little bit about your games. Nina, do you have those games on your laptop? I hope so.
I haven't installed them yet, but we're definitely going to see the trailers that are displayed in our Amaze space. So if the viewers want to see not only the faces behind the people, like behind the games, but also the games themselves, they're part of our exhibition at Amaze space. And if we're ready, we can switch over maybe to see what I can see on my laptop, because right now I'm looking at Brave Mouse Cartographer Trilogy, which is a concept of game that I haven't been confronted with yet, because I'm like the only cards that maps that I see are on my phone, which is a sad thing to say. Maybe at D&D too, and this game has been something new for me entirely, and I know that we can switch now. Yeah, just to see what I can see right here. There we go. Awesome.
And maybe you guys can talk a little bit about
Yes.
your ideas behind the game.
I guess this game kind of came from thinking about the idea of a game being treated as kind of an ambient experience.
Just an ambient,
No.
like, please go ahead and tell us more about how it's going,
I think
how
it
it's
functions-
supposed to work.
It functions both as kind of a party game and as like a passive interaction. The idea is that this bird is flying around on this map, and you as the player, your interaction is to try to draw a map of what is seen by it. And in the ideal context, we have it in a room full of people, so people can kind of cycle in and out and each add to each other's maps, and it kind of becomes this community-based mapping of this digital space, which unfortunately, given the world that we live in, we've never actually been able to display it that way. And every time we've had a chance to show it somewhere, it's become all digital. So we don't know how it would play out in reality, but
So it's yet a thing to be experienced by people who all actually sit together in a room. So we have to delay that experience, and maybe we get to see it on a later time. Well, yeah, unfortunately, that's probably something that will challenge us for quite some more time, but we'll see. And I really hope that it plays out and works out the way you guys imagined it, because I really liked the idea of people sitting together trying to draw one big map. I don't know, have you ever seen a game like that? Like, I haven't, Manu.
No, I haven't. I think it's a great idea, because like one of my earliest memories is drawing maps in my first roleplay game. Like I played the first, what was it? Dungeon Master and stuff like that, and Baldur's. No, it wasn't Baldur's Gate. It was The Bard's Tale, and I drew the maps myself, and I played roleplay games and stuff like that. And my father always bought maps, like real maps, in the era before we had smartphones. So I always have to think about my dad when I think about paper maps. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice thought, and it's a new way of seeing a game like that. So I'd really love for you guys to be able to see how it plays out in a group of people. While we're here, I can show you where you can find the game, especially for those who haven't been to Amaze Space yet. If you just turn left from coming into the Game Awards section, there it is, huge screen, little bird, nice maps.
I like that Octavian is thinking about taking liquids to it.
Yeah. So, and then there's the second game, and it's a little hidden right here, and it's called Bahari. And I'll just show you this, and then maybe you guys can explain what your thoughts were when you did this game. That would be nice.
Yeah. Do you want to start, Linnea?
Yeah, I guess. So the game was actually for an assignment or a game project that we did in the school. And we had to combine two sports as the theme of the game. And we really had to we wanted to make it unique, because you can find a lot of games that are kind of too sportsy, like wrestling games, football games. It doesn't really stick out. So we were like, what are like the weirdest sports?
I would have loved to see that list.
Yeah, we had a lot of very, very interesting things on that list.
Yeah.
So we took like deep diving, because we wanted to try something oceany. We would love to try that in an engine, to do something underwater. And we picked photography as well, because apparently that's a sport according to Wikipedia. If you dive without oxygen, then it's extreme photography.
Oh wow! I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. We kind of stretched the rules a bit on that one, but it was okay in the end. And that's kind of what game development is about as well. So
That's true. That's true.
Maybe you four should like make a remix and make an underwater map, like following a fish.
Yeah. Well,
That would
which
be
map
cool.
is which is it? Is it Brave Mouse Cartographer 2? It's like the map is pretty submerged. Like the water levels have all risen, and then Brave Mouse Cartographer 3, the world is all desert.
Ooh,
like that,
so
yeah.
you've thought about that already. That's nice.
Yeah.
And
Maybe that's like a mini game in Brave Mouse Cartographer 2 is the diving game.
and then also the photography, right? Because photography is a
Yes.
big part of the underwater world experience. When I first saw this, I had to think about a game that I really enjoyed to play, which I forgot the name of. But
Abzu.
Abzu?
yeah, Abzu. That's the game, and I really liked that you had that it had the same feel somehow, because I really enjoyed Abzu as a player, and having this added feature of taking pictures is a nice thing. So maybe I'll have to look into that too, because it like calms the mind to be just deep down there. But our main topic is borders, and I think we should get into that a little, because how did you get people from not going up? Like, how do you keep them in this world deep down where it could be possibly scary?
It was hard. I can tell you that. A lot of playtesting.
Yeah.
At first, I think the first people who tried our game, when it was getting close to playable, they wanted to go the other way and try to swim out through like a crack in the wall. But we kind of solved it with game design, but also like artistic choices. Like game design wise, we made that the character was actually facing the way we wanted them to go from the beginning. And artistically, we had to do some work with the lighting so that it actually highlights the route that we want the player to take. That's kind of the thing with borders as well. If you don't show the player something interesting, they won't go there. You want to pique this interest somehow, and that is a very good way to do that with lighting.
Yeah, and there's like not much interesting stuff. If you go up, there's quite a way to get to the surface. You're kind of feeling, oh, do I want to make that take that time to try to get to something when I see that there's not much interesting in the way, and all the interesting stuff is at the bottom or close to the lower parts of the level.
Yeah,
I think that's the most interesting part about game design, that you have 1,000 borders in the game, and you don't want the players to do that, and you don't want them to go there, but you don't want to show them that they're not allowed to do that or go
No,
there.
exactly.
It always
Yeah.
have to feel like intuitive, that you feel the
Exactly.
freedom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we go, if I watch like over these little stairs, and I look at Brave Mouse Cartographer, how did you guys deal with borders? Because like we're a bird flying over a map, and there's no, like, you don't really get a sense of the map ending, or is there a map ending? Do we do a globe? I don't know. Please tell me.
Well, I mean, it's actually far more strictly bordered than the other game.
Yeah.
The player doesn't actually have any input control over the map. It's all just by code. The bird flies in random directions, and if you reach too far to either side, or the top or the bottom, or north or south of the screen, it turns around and goes for a while in the other direction. So it's not even making the player want to do something. It's just
Because you can't,
But
which is a good
well,
thing.
it's a very big map, though, and you only see very small amounts of it at a time. And there's also the clouds kind of come in and out semi-randomly and obscure the landscape. So it doesn't. It's very hard to get a sense of like the fact that you're going over something that is static. It feels very, sort of open and organic, even though it's actually very strictly bounded.
Yeah. The trick is to make the player feel like they have choice, even though they have none. Because
Even in a game where they don't even put their hands on a controller.
We had an interesting talk yesterday at the Play. Is it a game if the game plays itself and there's no player interaction? So, like, what do you think about that?
Yeah,
Pardon?
it kind of
that
is
was
a game.
Paolo Pedercini.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like it. If you if you know that you actually don't like play, but you still play with it or interact with it, that's a pretty good topic actually to look at, and breaking maybe also the borders that you yourself would see while thinking about playing a game like that. And it's so sad that you guys didn't get to see it like come together. Another thing that I was wondering while you were talking was, does the bird go over certain parts of the map twice? Or if there's a cloud in the way, just
You have to wait.
too bad.
You have to wait until he comes back.
Yeah, and sometimes the bird will just sort of like, every so often, just the bird will just kind of start flying in a loop and just sort of like going over the same part of the map, just kind of circling something.
Yeah.
Which is particularly nice when there's like a landmark spot on the map that has an audio cue tied to it, and there's clouds, so you can tell there's something interesting there, but you can't see it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the audio is definitely an important component for that, I think, because the audio is tied to location. So half of the exploration is being able to hear what's going on in each place. And then with the clouds coming in and out, it becomes more of like that primes the player in a certain way for like expectation and a desire for knowing that otherwise might just be like, okay, here's another part of the map, here's another part of the map. It like creates an emotional tension that can be paid off by like a...
I think I'm just getting a little sound, right? Yeah, there's nodding, so we actually can hear now. The map, there's been...
How did you write the music for an ambient game like this?
Yeah.
What was the challenge?
I wrote it on a 4-track tape machine using a looped cassette, and
Awesome.
Or
pretty
a
awesome,
bunch
yeah.
of looped cassettes, and didn't touch a computer at all while I was writing any of the music. All I used the computer for was to digitize the sound off the tapes, but it was just like a 4-track tape recorder, a keyboard, a keyboard, a couple keyboards, a guitar, some a Game Boy for some of the 8-bitty sounds. But yeah, it was sort of, I wanted, I didn't want to be thinking in terms of like you know, like a MIDI grid or something when I was working. So.
Yeah.
Kristoffer and Linnea, music in an underwater game is also a challenge, right? You have to get a
I have to
certain
go
feeling.
there first, so that we can listen to it
Did
now.
you record underwater?
Wait. There we go.
We had one of the game designers was or is really interested in sound and synthesizing and stuff like that. So he worked on these ambient sounds, and some of the heartbeat has a quite like a sound you really need to hear, and a couple of other sounds. So I don't think he dived in any water to get those sounds, but I'm not sure where he got them from.
He did research though, for sure.
Research in the bathtub, I bet.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Well, yeah, I think those synthesizer sounds really fit that, like game style. I really like that.
Yeah, it was really nicely done, and we had a lot to do just with the game, and he was not just a dedicated sound designer, so we kind of did it at some of the nights. This project was about 4 weeks long, so it's like a really long game jam, really.
Yeah.
You guys want to continue like developing games and make bigger games, or is it like something you want to really do, like small indie games and experiments?
For us, or
everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
So this, like Linnea said, was part of a project 2. So I think for our team, we felt kind of happy with this. We were 12 people and 4 weeks, and the main thing with this is learning from doing. So doing a project with all the disciplines, from programmers, game designers, and 2D and 3D artists, and really learning from the experience, and kind of keeping it from a start to finish. You get a full product. But we'll see. We had a really good time and a really great team, so it would be nice to kind of do something more.
That's actually worth holding on to. If you have a good team that you can work well with, you should hold on to that. I can tell you that. That is a good thing. And for you guys, do you want to continue doing more cartography, or is your mind set on something else?
Well, I really enjoyed well, the Brave Mouse Cartographer trilogy feels kind of self-contained, and it feels like that particular project is complete. But I definitely want to keep scoring games using the approach that I used for this, and I definitely want to I make games as well, and I'm very and like the concepts that we worked on with this were really there was a lot of food for thought there, and I'm really interested in pursuing a lot of those same kind of threads in the future.
We as an organization have finished one other game since this, and 3+ more in the works, and they're all very dramatically different. The last thing was kind of like a JRPG visual novel. The next couple things are kind of arcadey. There's a kind of a rotating cast of people working on them, but absolutely the idea of being able to work on projects that I'm proud of the content of with people that I like and enjoy working with is pretty much the only aspiration that I have. So it's
I would
not much else worth
doing good work with good people.
That is a thing worth aspiring to. Not expiring, Nina. Your words escape you. So yeah, thanks a lot for that. Because
maybe one last question, Linnea.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why do you make games instead of other art forms? What is so special about games?
For me specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you were the one who hasn't answered the question yet.
Yeah. Well, I think it has to do just with my personal passion, I guess. I've been playing games since I was really small, unlike many other of my girlfriends. So I was not like super up to what they were doing at all times. So I kind of tended to strive more towards what I liked to do. And I was a huge fan of drawing as well since I've been very little. So it's kind of what I branched into naturally when we got to high school. We had to pick something. It was like, oh, what do I like? I don't know. I like games. I like to draw. And that's kind of what it just like branched into. So that's why I'm doing it, because I love to draw with purpose. And I love stories. I love games. I love everything that can like bring you somewhere else than here.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Love for games. That's what brought us all together here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful. I like that. It's wholesome.
Great. I think our time is over, sadly enough.
Yes,
and,
it is.
The picture is broken anyway. So thank you guys a lot for coming over to Hamburg, to our virtual experience here and our virtual exhibition.
Yes.
Everybody else, go to the Amaze space, take a look at those games, and if you like them, vote for them, because we have a Publikums vote, whatever it is called, like a viewers vote.
Viewers,
take a look, take a peek,
vote.
and play the games. Download the demos, and thank you everybody who was on our call today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
And
Thanks a
take
lot.
care, stay safe, and see you next year then, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
Great.
Bye.
And we are switching back to German now. Hier geht's jetzt weiter mit der Play-Couch bei Christian Schiffer. Grenzenlose Möglichkeiten, digitale Spiele in der Bildung. Um Punkt 17:30 Uhr könnt ihr hier auf diesem Kanal bleiben. Wenn ihr aber Fragen habt oder mit den Leuten interagieren wollt, dann wechselt in den entsprechenden Kanal.
Richtig. Und dann sehen wir uns danach. Also Manu,
Erstmal du nochmal, du
genau,
eröffnest die Game Jam.
auf Manu müssen wir dann einmal kurz warten.
Mensch.
Ich sehe Manu dann erst wieder zum Rückblick. Zwischendurch gibt es noch die Eröffnung des Game Jams. Das solltet ihr auf keinen Fall verpassen. Und bis dahin viel Spaß bei der Couch. Richtig?
Tschüss,
Ja.
bis
Bis
später.
dann. Tschüss.